I believe we're live, so if anyone's watching, hello. Oh, I had forgotten to switch the view, so only I was live.
Ah,
Hello.
If we had to pick one of us, you're probably the best choice.
Just me, if I hadn't noticed, it would have just been me talking by myself and waiting.
yeah.
Dre plays D&D with his imaginary friends.
Well,
Like-
isn't that really what D&D is?
Like-
at heart?
Cartman having his little tea party with his, his stuffed dolls and things. If you
I'm
watch
trying to
South Park.
think. Is there an actor with enough range to play a D&D game by themselves?
Jim
It would
Carrey.
just be really weird and crazy. It would be like
Yeah.
a study in psychology, I think.
Christoph Waltz would be so dope.
I would pay to watch that though.
We used to have long conversations about alternative casting choices for Lord of the Rings, the movies.
Okay.
And my favorite choice was to have Christopher Walken play everyone. I think that would have been really awesome.
Fly, you fools.
So we're
We
definitely
get Jeff
live.
Bezos to play Gollum.
Ooh, he does kind of look like that.
Yeah.
For anyone that's watching for the first time, this is We Kill Monsters, the weekly D&D show where some friends play the latest adventure from Wizards of the Coast, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Ooh, an icy horror story. I'll let the players introduce themselves and their character. If you want to go ahead, Bill.
I am Bill Barnett, and I'm playing Durbic Blackhammer, who is a dwarven barbarian.
Romeo.
I am Romeo Domenichini, and I play Caliban, a tiefling paladin.
And Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben Murray, and I'm playing Rover, the moon druid, Goliath.
Excellent. And finally, Min.
Hello everyone, I'm Minyahil Kfligurgis, and I play Akeem, who is a half-elf sorcerer.
Amazing. So today, Mary might not be joining us. She wasn't feeling too well, so I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're watching so that you know what's happening for next week.
She's probably allergic to pumpkin spice.
Yeah, maybe. I was like, I'm right out. That's it. But let's get into it, because tonight, as with every night, we kill monsters. Last we left our adventurers, they had defeated the frost druid Ravizin, who had been setting awakened animals onto the various towns of 10 towns. They managed to subdue her and sort of convince her to stop being evil, at least seemingly so, in exchange for them finding out who had killed her sister. And the last thing that happened is, as you were leaving the elven tomb, you investigated a sarcophagus that was sealed by magic, and you managed to unseal it thanks to Akeem's fire and all the various bits and pieces you guys had collected. And that had given you control of a mummy, an ancient elven mummy that's now on your side that you can take with you.
As the mummy shoots up, I turn to the others and I say, "This is exactly like that book I read."
So what would you like to do?
I mean, we're all just staring at this thing, right?
Yeah, just freaking out.
She's just sort of, what do you want me to do?
Can you do a little dance?
Not kill us.
Okay, sure. There we go. Hey.
I'm just going to move so you can all see.
Yep. So, well, roll an Arcana check, but I don't know if you'd know much about this.
Durbic is not going to do well. I'm hoping to prompt someone else who would have a better skill in this area to ask some questions. 20!
20.
Ah! He says...
30,
I'm
20.
saying,
30,
"Oh,
20.
Derbick won't do well."
So, you vaguely remember a conversation with a member of a barbarian tribe that had met a necromancer. And as far as you know, most sort of reanimated dead tend to be evil things under the control of wizards, or sorry, either evil or under the control of wizards.
Okay.
But this seems different to you.
Yeah. So, Sonar, are you comfortable in there, or would you like to get out and speak with us?
It would be nice to stretch my legs. What year is it? It's, I think, 1489, by the way.
Yeah.
She goes, whoa, okay. It has been a while.
So tell us about your story. How have you ended up here?
I died many centuries ago. This was my temple. I was buried here. And I am bound to the magics of this place. By lighting the brazier, you have control of me.
Can you leave this place?
Yes, I am bound to follow whomsoever has freed me.
Cool. So we're not going to die. Very good.
I ask her, why were you bound this way?
Now I have to try and figure out what elves hundreds of years ago might have wanted by that, which is not in the book, by the way. I'm gonna say, I can't come. Sorry, the whole streaming thing threw me off. I don't know.
You seem like you would be a able traveling companion, but I'm reluctant to force someone against their will. Is this bond something that we could help you break and bring you peace and rest? Or
I understand that my soul must have journeyed to the afterlife at the time of my death. This is but a shadow or a memory of who I was.
all right.
That's good enough for me. Anyone have any objections?
New friend. We've made lots of new
Super.
friends today.
Oh,
The more
well,
the merrier, I say.
So do we have some spare furs and stuff that we can sort of cloaks and hoods and things that we can wrap her up in, or?
I don't know if we have spare stuff, but if
You guys
one
did-
of us,
Sorry, go on.
if she were to linger at the edge of town, we could go in and purchase what we need.
Okay, that's good. Yep. Okay, so should we go back to Lonelywood then?
Yeah.
Quick stop
Yeah.
at Lonely Wood for the supplies we need to make her look human, and then I wouldn't say no to heading to Easthaven unless someone else has any objections.
Well, we promised to investigate the death of the Ravison's sister.
And that
In
was
Lonely
in Lonely. All right, yes.
What time of day is it currently?
I'm trying to remember.
Because it was getting late the last
Yeah.
time when we were doing battle with her, so...
Yeah, it was getting later on. I would say it's beginning to be evening then, probably.
Do we maybe want to try and get some rest before some investigating?
Sure. We'll do it first thing in the morning. I'd just rather move quickly back to town. I don't like being here after. And I shrug, chuckling, saying, nightfall.
Okay. So you guys make camp for the evening and have a rest?
I would have thought we'd try to make it back to Lonely Wood before nightfall.
Yeah, they have beer. They have beer. I want
Yep.
beer.
Beer.
Okay.
I'm down for that.
I'm a fan of beer.
with a mummy.
So you guys begin to track your way back to Lonelywood.
Yeah.
Rover, you're leading the group as usual.
Yeah.
Please roll a survival check for me.
Ooh, that's only going to be a... That's so good. 12. 12.
Okay, so it's getting quite late, and you're struggling a bit to find the path through the trees that you guys had taken on the way to here. So it feels like you're a little off course as you're trudging through the snow. But roll another survival check for me.
That's better. 17.
Okay. So you sort of find a few landmarks on your way through the trees, and you're able to kind of get the direction of Lonelywood again, and you sort of keep going in that direction for another hour or so. Roll another survival check for me.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
As we're walking, I say, we need to get a sled, like yesterday.
You don't like walking in the cold?
I just stare daggers at Rover.
With that roll, you finally find the right path, the easy path, and you're back on track, and you make it to the outskirts of Lonelywood. You can start seeing the buildings in the distance and the lake. You do feel like on that last hour there was a presence, an unfriendly presence in the woods, but that the fact that you found your path meant that you somehow avoided it.
My druid sense was tingling.
Would I know this as well? Would he have said it, or is it just Rover that knows this?
Well, I mean, he might have said it to you. Would you have said it out loud?
Yeah.
I look up into the night sky and just flip the bird at the night sky.
And Min has left the building.
Oh no!
So we'll wait for him for a second.
I think this week we might not be we kill monsters. We might be we have technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, you're back.
What just happened?
I don't know. You just disappeared completely for a second.
It was mid-sentence as Caliban was saying something, and then all of a sudden, it kicked me out. So I was like, "What?"
I don't know what's going on. Maybe.
Anywho,
So this figure, sorry, Sunar was her name?
Sanar.
Sunar, yeah. Is that Sannar?
Sahnar.
Okay, sorry. She's quite decomposed, right? Or at least
She's very
jerky.
well preserved. She's just very dry.
For her age,
Okay.
she's very well preserved.
Doesn't look day over 100.
I turn to the others and I say, we're gonna need a disguise where it would be believable that she have a face covered at all times. Hakim, do you know of any faiths whose garb is completely concealing?
you say fates?
Faiths, Faiths.
Are you trying to put the mummy in a burqa?
Yes.
Is that something?
So
is that
out of
something
character, I was
know?
thinking more. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Caliban, you are paladin.
I mean, I've got a couple of ideas. Maybe the followers of Shar might believably hide themselves, but they're not exactly
Just bear in mind
welcome in good
that
circles.
the kind of winter clothes that you guys are wearing, except Rover, are basically like furry burqas. Like
That's
you
exact-
can't
so
see someone that, if they got their hood up, you can't see what's...
Still, though, if she's wearing that indoors at all times, it's gonna look fucking weird.
We just pretend she is frail grandma.
Yeah,
To be fair, three of us were talking about this while you guys were off.
yeah.
We could dress her up in lots of furs, call her our frail grandma.
Yep.
And
I'm just saying, people
She's
are
not
less
property.
likely to question religious motives.
Also,
I mean, it's
I don't like
18
sleeping in
1489.
town, so she can come and sleep out of town with me.
I just
Rover
look at
on
him
this
like,
one.
are we doing phrasing?
Straight over.
I just can't get past the concept of a furka.
Well, you know,
Business venture, Bill.
I don't know if you guys watch South
South
Park,
Park.
but imagine Kenny from South Park, you know, he's like...
Yeah.
That's what I had in my head when you
Yeah.
described
Nice.
it.
All right.
I just thought it'd be a little less weird to be completely covered head to toe inside all the time as well if it were religious garb as opposed to
We can just say she's got lots of scars and she's very, very frail.
Also,
She's
this
covered
is,
naked, right?
this is the part of the world where people go to not be found, and it's just generally understood that it's polite not to go, well, where are you from? Why are you not taking your hood off?
She can just say, if they say take your hood off, she can just say it is the way.
Fine,
See,
I'm just
I knew I'd like you,
advising we
Bill.
exercise caution.
Yes.
All right. Remain here. I will go and purchase what we need to cover her up.
Okay.
She's not a stripper. Just
Just remember, Lonelywood doesn't really have a shop.
Like, at all? Not even, like, one general goods store
No.
for, like, essentials?
Well, there's the Happy Scrimshander if you want to buy tools for engraving the bones of the knucklehead trout.
What
Yes.
about the halfling? Would she maybe have spare clothes?
Yeah, probably.
I would seek her out then. I'll just quickly, like, jog into town, try seek out the halfling, and...
Okay. She'll be at her house.
Okay.
So you knock on the door.
Knock, knock. Yep.
Door opens and there's that friendly little sort of halfling child going, hello.
Hello there, little man. Could you fetch the lady of the house for me?
Mom! And Nimsy kind of looks up from like the stove where she's cooking and says, come in, come in.
I come in, and as I turn, I look at the child, and I use thaumaturgy to make my eyes sparkle like Tinkerbell with pixie dust.
Wow, cool.
I wink, and then I walk. So sorry for the inconvenience. I didn't know who else to turn to without trekking all the way back to the other towns.
Oh, not at all, not at all. Caliban, was it?
Correct, yes. A former acquaintance of mine has made her way up to, crap, sorry, out of character. I, like, blanked on the name of this region. Icewind Dale. Has made her way up to Icewind Dale. She's originally from way down south amongst the deserts, and she hates this climate.
Oh,
You don't have
understand it.
any-
It's not for everybody.
You don't have any very bundly cold gear. Will be willing to pay you for it. I just don't want to walk all the way back to one of the other towns.
I'll have a look, but as you can see, unless she's pint-sized like me, it's going to be hard to cover up in my clothes. But let me see if there's any old coats from the previous townspeaker. We tend to keep everything just in case.
Not an issue if there isn't. I appreciate you having a look. Just trying my luck.
She goes into the upstairs part, spends about 5 minutes or so, and then comes back with what looks like a very kind of long, almost like a trench coat with fur lining around it. And
Perfect. But
will
during this
do?
time, will it do? Out
Sure.
of character. Yeah.
It's pretty concealing.
Okay.
If the hood is up, they won't know, and unless they're close by and look at her in the eye, they won't know.
Perfect.
Did you guys take care of the? Did you say you were going back to double check something else at the tomb?
Yes, you won't be being bothered by anything out that way anymore.
Oh, that's great to hear. Did you find the culprit? Have they been dealt with?
They have been dealt with.
Very well.
What do I owe you for the coat?
You guys all helped us. It's on us.
You're too kind. I take a moment and I spend maybe 5 minutes using thaumaturgy to make like random fart noises appear like in different corners of the room to make the children laugh.
Cool. Yeah, they run around laughing, and they very much enjoy this sort of thing. They like any sort of crazy magic stuff. They don't get to see it too often.
burning hands. I'm kidding.
Check this out. Oh, where'd they go?
I don't know if I have burning hands. What do I have?
No.
No,
Don't
no,
smite them.
No.
No, I got nothing. No, even if I wanted to, I'm tapped. Like I am, like battery empty. I thank her profusely for the coat.
Do you guys need a place to stay for the night again?
Actually, yes. We may be back shortly. I just need to get my acquaintance bundled up so she
Oh, very
is
well,
a bit
very
more
well.
comfortable.
I'll put some dinner on.
Very appreciated. Is there anything you'd like me to pick up? Is there somewhere I could pick in and grab one of them salmons or something like that?
I mean,
For you.
it's a bit late to go fish, to be
Not
honest.
to go fish, but like, is there a manga you'd like me to swing by for some supplies for yourself?
This
or
is a
anything
small
like that?
town.
There's no
like,
shops, yeah.
There's no really any shops. We get our supplies from Tourmaline.
Fair enough. Just offering to be of any assistance I can.
Well, thank you.
And I nod, and I will go back with the big coat to the mummy.
Okay, so you reach
I
your
put it on
friends.
her. I say, "Okay, your name is Trinity. Does anyone have any dark glasses?" He said trench coat, right?
Like, it's a full length,
Sorry.
like,
Hooded.
hooded coat.
All right, perfect.
Perfect.
Whoa.
We have like a face scarf or something. Does anyone?
I'll say that it's part of your cold weather gear. You each have that type of thing. You have hat, woolen gloves, like scarves, so you can give her one of your scarves.
See, I'm just
Cool.
standing by and watching as Caliban is trying to dress up this mummy. So I'm taking great joy in watching him like stumble as he's trying to figure out like what goes where.
I look at Hakim and say, "You know I'm doing this for you, right?"
Oh no, you continue doing as you wish.
Well, it wouldn't be awkward. I assume the mummy would be able to, upon request, like hold her arms out, or like help just put on the coat. And...
She does exactly what you tell her.
Okay.
Like, she's fully compliant. Like, as far as it's more like a puppet, but with some level of intelligence.
All right, Hakim, you're in charge of her cover story. And I walk away.
Grandma?
So you guys head back to the house.
Yep.
Okay, let me make sure I cue up the music.
Just before we get there, I say to the mummy, "Do not, under any circumstances, reveal your true nature to any of the townsfolk."
Very well.
Just making that clear.
And she has an intelligence of 6, by the way, in terms of game terms. So,
Simple
like, try to keep the instructions simple. But she's not going to do anything you don't ask her to do.
Don't talk till we leave town.
She nods. Okay. So you head back to the speaker's house, and you're welcomed in, where you find the kids seated for dinner. They're having their dinner already. Yours is being prepared by Nimsy, and she kind of greets you and welcomes you in. What would you like to do? Straight to bed, kind of eat?
As she's cooking, Rover goes over and offers like the cherry tomatoes that he just always seems to have in his bag, and goes to add to the plate. I just palms over like a bunch of them over.
Oh, haven't seen one of those in 2 years. Fantastic, thank you.
I just spent some
It's
time
pleasure.
entertaining the children with the Magi, making like the candles change color and flicker or dim and brighten, making like sounds appear from here and there, illusory stuff, making the ground tremble or the doors fly open suddenly, just like
Doors fly open
Trick.
suddenly, like in this kind of weather. I'm sure her mom will be thankful. She starts looking at you like,
I shut them again,
Okay.
instantaneously. But
So
yeah,
is
basically, I
Mimsy-
entertain the children with parlor tricks.
Bill, you're
Is Mimsy the speaker of this town?
Nimsy is the town speaker. Yes.
Nimsy, this is another one of our new friends.
I was going to ask. I swear you're picking up people as you go.
We're friendly.
Well met, sir. Your
Nice
name
to
is?
meet you. Durbek. Blackhammer.
Nice to meet you. I'm Nimsy. Nimsy. Let me see if it has the surname. Nimsy Huddle.
Always nice to visit Lonelywood.
It's the one of the smaller ones, but cozy, wouldn't you say?
That's a good word. Yeah.
The kids are sent off to bed. She makes them thank Caliban for the show, although she kind of eyes him like, "Please stop opening my windows."
No more.
I would have only done it once and then stopped.
Over dinner. I want to ask. You don't mind if I call you Nimsy?
Not at all. Not at all. Please.
During our investigations about the moose,
Aye.
We heard about a terrible, tragic story of a young woman being killed in the forest by archers. Perhaps in the last moon or so. Do you know anything about this event?
More recently. Well, there's a legend about someone that was killed a long time ago. But I think this is something else.
But tell us of the legend. Legends are always interesting.
It is said that Lonelywood is haunted by the spirit of a woman that was killed many centuries ago. So it is not known why she wanders the woods. But it is, some people have said to have met her, and some people have not come back from Lonelywood Forest. So it is possible that there is an unkind spirit in the woods. But in terms of a few weeks ago, all I know is about the moose, since we've been trying to expand our logging. And, obviously we're one of the smaller towns, but we have access to the woods. We're so close. It's a primary source of income for us. We're trying to expand a bit to gain a bit more relevance here in 10 towns. Give me a little bit more of a, presence during the town speaker meetings so that our voice is heard. And that's when the moose started showing up. But other than that, those are the two only changes recently: the increased logging and the attacks, as far as I know.
Is there someone who is a captain or leader of the camp, the logging camp, that we might?
Your friends have met one of the loggers. Trying to remember. Samuel. He'd be the person to ask. I believe the original foreman of that operation was one of the victims of the moose. So unfortunately, we can't speak to him.
That's very helpful. Thank you. And the meal is delightful.
Oh, thank you very much. And she hands you like a bunch of handmade cookies that look like little halflings.
I secretly take a couple of them and put them in my pocket just for later.
Sleight of hand check? No, I'm kidding.
Also for Durbic, because it's got those little tomatoes in it, this is one of the most filling meals you've ever had.
Not the most?
No, this is the most, you finish your plate and you're just absolutely, you're just like, wow. I almost don't need, if I ate this at the start of the day, I would not need to eat for another 24 hours.
That's a very specific description.
I see.
So, that'll be all for for the evening, unless you guys have anything else you wanted me. Where are you guys going next? You always have a friendly place to stay here in Lonelywood. Thank you for taking care of our problem. And I can put in a word for Samuel to come in the morning and talk to you guys if you had some questions for him.
Much appreciated. We may spend at least half the day around town before heading east.
Very well. After cleaning up, she heads upstairs to her bedroom and leaves you guys alone downstairs. You're free to have a long rest. Yeah, there's some ale.
Help myself.
So we should keep track of the days that are passing because we said we'd go back in a month. Yeah.
I'm marking off how many days you guys have been here.
All right. Good.
4?
This is the 6th evening you've spent in Icewind Dale. Akeem and Zaxa. Caliban obviously has been here longer, but you've been together for about 6 evenings. And you guys have had, I think, one evening with Durbic. Yeah, because you met him, had the fight. Yeah. Cool. You guys want to take a long rest and then we'll see what happens in the morning?
I will, yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Very well. You wake up in the morning. It's obviously not very light outside, but it's enough to kind of know that it's daytime. But what really wakes you up is the smell of eggs, bacon, It's sort of black pudding and stuff being cooked downstairs. You don't like black pudding?
Had me at eggs and bacon.
You know,
I'm out
a
on
proper
black
fry up. A proper fry up is being cooked downstairs. As you head down, you see that at the 2 or 3 tables in the large kind of living space, you know, at one there's the children at the smaller table, and then there's a few other people, including Samuel, sort of talking to Nimsy as she cooks. Ah, our friends, well met. Come down for breakfast.
Smells delicious.
As you sit down, she kind of spoons off a bit of everything into everyone's plate and says, Samuel, our friends here had some more questions for you. She goes, all right.
I look up to him and say, oh, Samuel, it's good to see you again. You were so helpful last time that we just wanted to pick your brains on a few things, if that's okay.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for taking care of that crazy moose. Did you it's all been put to rest, has it?
I look around at the others and then look back at someone and go, yep, something like that.
So, what can I help you with? What would you like to know?
Well, we heard that there was a presence that's been quite malicious and intimidating. Can you tell us a little bit about what your experience has been with that?
Other than the moose?
Other than the moose, yes.
Well, Lonelywood is a scary place. I mean, there's wolves and all sorts of things, and of course, some people say that there's a ghost of some kind, but I've never encountered it myself. But some of my fellow loggers swear that they've seen a white lady gliding across the forest floor without touching the snow.
Can you give us any names of people who say that they've seen this white lady?
I could probably talk to blanking on names. I'm gonna say, have I used it before? I need to keep. Yes, I have. Well, actually, you've met him, so that's fine.
Oh,
Gregor, the hunter.
Okay.
You've met him. He swears he's seen her a few times. You should talk to him about her.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all? Is that what you wanted to know?
Have you seen any people in the woods?
Outside of us loggers, you mean?
Yeah.
No. I mean, you might not know. I haven't seen you before. I told these other guys here about a strange figure with red hair off into the distance, watching as the attack with the moose happened. That I have seen her.
That was Rabazan, yeah.
yeah.
Well, you assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Fitting description.
other than that, I haven't seen anyone.
So, is it like an insight check to see if he's telling us the truth?
Roll an insight check.
May I also?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
10.
I feel like you wouldn't lie.
14.
Okay. Anyone? What did you get, Bill?
10.
17.
17.
Should I be rolling too? Or-
If you're questioning whether or not he's telling you the truth.
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay. Rover, you feel like he's not telling you the whole story. He looked like nervous.
I'm also Druid. What aren't you telling us?
Oh, nothing at all. What do you mean? What are you accusing me of?
I did not say I was accusing you. I had what are you not telling us. Therefore, that reaction means that you are hiding something.
He looks very flustered, and it looks like he's about to stand up and leave. He feels very uncomfortable.
Durbick is just going to stand up and walk over in front of the door.
Okay.
Yeah, like in a way to say
If you
you're
do
not
not,
leaving.
if you
until
don't
tell
tell
us
me
what's
soon,
going
then you'll have to meet.
Roll.
I would not like to disrupt.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just saying I would not like to disrupt the children. They've already had fun playing with me in dog form. I would hate for that to be ruined by them seeing me in dire wolf form.
The rest of the people at the table are sort of like that had sort of almost were not unfriendly, but they kind of ignored. Like you can see them pause and look up, and Nimsy kind of looks nervously and says, "Is everything all right there?" But Durbik, please roll an intimidation check. Yeah, with advantage because Rover is kind of also helping.
Okay, so that's a 17. If I use charisma, it's just a 17. If I can use strength, though, it's a 21.
We said that you're gonna sort of look imposing with your
That's my
muscles.
plan. Yeah, so 21.
21. So Samuel kind of breaks down and starts sputtering, saying, "Look, we didn't know. We just saw a bear coming for us, and we attacked it, and killed it. And then it was a lady, and we kept firing. And it's not our fault. And she then haunts us from she came back and was looking at us whilst the moose attacked. It was clearly an evil spirit."
Yet you kept firing after you had downed the spear, and it turned into a lady. That's what you're saying.
We don't like magic. That was clearly some evil magics at play.
So what do you
like
make of me then? I just stare at him, and my eyes flare like a fiery red with thaumaturgy. Am I unpleasant magics?
You can
Do you
see
have a
that
problem with my sword?
you can see that he'd like to say yes, but he's fearing, very intimidated.
I kind of interject and go, magic is like sword. Sword is not. You cannot accuse sword of murder. You accuse the wielder of sword. There is no good magic or bad magic. There is bad magic user or good magic user.
Look, I don't know nothing about that. We were logging. We were out there cutting down our trees, and the bear came for us, and we tried to, it was a beast. We tried to kill it.
I just ignore him at this point, and I kind of turn to Nimsy and go, "This is why you have been attacked by the moose. This is why all of the other 10 towns have been attacked by other animals. It's because of this single act."
If you want it to stop,
Indeed.
I turn to Nimsy and I say, we can make it stop. But
I thought you already made it stop. I thought it was taken care of.
We stopped it happening here.
is what I was saying. Is what the other half of that sentence would have been had I been allowed to finish, Nimsy.
We just say it at the same time.
Which is actually the truth. Like,
So, what would you like me to do exactly?
justice needs done.
I am appreciative that you've told us the whole story. That is sometimes takes more bravery than battle. I think I don't believe there's a penalty to be exacted here. I think there are other things that we can do and we can take care of.
We just honest men doing honest business here.
I understand completely, and I'm only regretful that we're required to be so imposing on you here to get the full story. But having shared it with us, I think we can solve this problem.
Very well, very well.
Until we knew the truth, our options were limited.
He kind of looks uncomfortably to Nimsy. He's not sure what to do, but she kind of just nods at him, and he kind of takes his leave and looks at you nervously, to see if you're going to stop him, but he's heading for the door.
I'll open the door for him.
He rushes off. And
I go straight from being like kind of big, trying to use the big bulk of 7'5", like bulk to be scary. So just sitting back at the table, enjoying more beer, being like,
Bye.
"Have a good day."
I'm like, what just happened? But
I
I'm
turn to
enjoying-
Dubrick and I say, "May I speak with you in private?"
You can speak with me right here.
Oh shit!
I mean, how much do you trust Nimsy?
You say this out loud.
I would say I'm happy to speak right here unless you think we need more privacy.
I turn to look at Nimsy and say, "Fine. You do realize she's not going to be content with an apology, right?"
I think that we can offer her some compensation. I think that we are likely to be better to offer compensation than these townspeople. And I think that if she's not willing to accept that, then we know other ways to stop the problem. We can offer her the ultimate compensation.
Other thing is, now he has it on his conscience that he caused deaths a friend.
And you think he gives a crap? He'll go right back to dreaming about dumb shit.
I mean, I
Caliban,
don't know
I'm
about
not
you, Caliban,
exactly
but
sure.
most of us aren't comfortable with killing people.
I'm not exactly sure what you had in mind, Caliban, but certainly executing this logger who was trying to defend the camp.
I
He's
wasn't
not
going
a-
to do anything to him. I just wasn't going to get away on someone who might have a bone to pick.
I'm not sure I understand. It must be sophisticated, civilized ways of thinking. I'm going to go back to eating.
Breakfast. Can you guys hear the sound that I'm playing
Yeah,
properly?
I just
Okay.
heard a
Oh.
door open.
No,
Okay.
I can't.
So for some reason it wasn't playing right for me, so I switched it a couple of times.
I'm not hearing the sounds, I don't think. Oh, now I am.
Yeah. I look at Durbik and go, so tell me more about this compensation, because it's gonna need to be really good if we're gonna cool off Ravizon.
I think we explained to her what happened. We offer something that we uncover in our next adventures, whether it's a gem or a jewel or something in memory of her loss. And
Perhaps with a
Explain
little
to her
charm
that-
person along with it.
possibly, yeah, I'm open
work.
to ideas. But I don't
wouldn't
think
risk that. The
I
charm
don't
person
think-
part.
I don't think causing more disturbance in Lonelywood would be helpful.
Perhaps it would be good if your people, if the people of Lonelywood could, I don't know, build small, like shrine or little gravestone or something. Is what I mean, like for the forest. They can leave little offerings there for the
Maybe
forest.
start Maybe
And-
start planting trees, not only cutting them down.
If they honor the memory of Ravizon's sister.
Who is Ravizon, if I might ask? I don't believe we've shared that information.
I think at this point we're all just talking amongst ourselves, like
Yeah.
forgetting
Okay.
like Nimsy's there because we're just trying to.
She's probably
formulate
hearing it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah. No, like
She will
she'll hear
reply
it.
to that. She'll probably be like, "Hang on."
It's one of those things. It's like we'll deal with you later.
I turn and I say, Ravizon is a druid who lived in the forest. Her sister was slain by loggers who were too stupid to ask any questions.
But if what Samuel said about the bear coming for them, I mean, I sort of understand it, though I don't understand why they didn't stop firing at it when it turned into a woman. At the same time, I don't know. This is why did she attack the loggers? Do you know?
Druids are guardians of nature.
We gotta make a living here. I don't know what else. I
A
can't
balance
promise that people won't go into the forest to cut trees.
I don't think anyone's naive enough to expect that, but a balance has to be struck.
As you know, it hasn't really been. The sun has not shone in 2 years. I don't think we can plant any trees and have them grow.
Listen, I think we had the choice to make: to slay this druid or to understand her grievance. And we spoke to her about what was motivating her, and she has agreed to meet with us later and discuss what's happened. We
And
can now go back with a story of fear and defense. She recognizes that she can't stop the logging of the woods completely. And I think if we explain to her and offer some honor of her sister, we can ensure the hostilities stop. And if they don't, we'll ensure they stop another way.
okay, so long as you can keep the situation under control, we don't want any more deaths.
Also, druid can make plant grow without sun. It would be good to have friendly druid as next door neighbor.
Very well. If you can set up a situation where we can parley with this figure and make sure that there's no further attacks on either side, for us, it's important that we can continue to make a living off the land, especially in these times.
We just need a little time.
Very well. You know where to find me.
Very good.
I turn to the others and I say, we should get moving then if we want to get this done before we can head out quickly to East.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Lindsay, thank you for your hospitality and that dinner last night. I feel like I don't need to eat for days.
You're very welcome. Always a pleasure. Okay.
As I'm walking out, I'm still reaching into my pocket to grab those cookies.
As you do, you notice that it seems to have more cookies than you'd put in there.
2 seconds.
I'm like, oh no. It's good. I'll take another one.
Insight check the cookies. Are they alive?
I think they're magical.
Yep, the self-raising flower on a whole new level. Self-replicating flower.
Yeah.
All right, I turn to Rover.
Now, you guys are not going back to the Ravizin right away, are you?
No.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand.
We need to do just.
We need to do something else.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
Where have we not been to yet?
I'm running low on time. I would love to head to Easthaven.
So Easthaven, somewhere you haven't been, but there's several other towns you haven't been to. So Easthaven, the two Caer Dinaval and Caer Koenig you haven't been to. The town of Goodmead you haven't been to. Dugan's Hole you haven't been to. And Tourmaline. You've only been to Bryn Shander, Bremen, and Lonelywood. And you've passed through Targos, but you didn't stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Caliban wants to go to Easthaven.
Straight there?
I don't really care. I mean, it's on our lake, isn't it?
Easthaven's on the opposite lake, so you either crossed through the tundra, which is is its own thing, or you go through the paths back through each town around to reach it. You can see on the map the path you'd have to take.
We need to drop off a boat anyway, so we may as well go back to Bremen, drop off our boats, and then hike back.
Okay.
Everyone happy with that? Go to Bremen, get paid for dealing with that job with Fishlayer. If we're sailing, hopefully we can run into Fishlayer. He can give us a free ride.
Cool. So
He's
you
friendly
guys,
with the druid that's on our team, so.
I mean, he doesn't need a druid to speak to. He can speak to us.
No, but like,
yeah.
but you made friends with him initially.
so you,
When Caliban was ready to kill him.
It's a druid's job.
so you guys head for the docks where you left your. You had both of them or just one?
We had both boats.
You had both
We had
boats.
one that we were going to use as a dummy boat and one like a spare in case one of them sank.
Cool. So you pack everything into the boat. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 of you now. So you do need both boats because each rowboat only takes 4 people, and
Yep.
Zaxa and the mummy makes 6 with you guys. So you get onto the boats and you start you have to track over the ice again, put them in the water and head out, avoiding the ice flows. This time we won't sort of roll a check, but it takes you a while to kind of get going. And you start sort of rowing towards the other side of the lake. It's going to take you a few hours to get there. Would you like to do anything in the meantime? Fishing again? You're just rowing straight there.
I will fish in the meantime, sure. Can I spearfish?
Well, you don't have the equipment for spearfishing, but you do
I got
have...
a javelin and I got rope.
If you want to try that, sure, but you have fishing equipment.
Alright, no, I'll just line pole fish regular.
Alrighty.
Like a savage.
So it's going to take you like a couple of hours to get to the other side, so you can attempt 2 survival checks to see if you catch anything.
Alright, I'll use the
Shall it?
aquamarine die for this one.
Let's do the first one.
Okay, what is this? You said athletics, yes?
No, survival.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's not very high modifier. Oh, natural 18 for 19.
Okay. So as you're sort of hanging your rod over the side as the guys are rowing and sort of looking at you like, motherfucker. You get... Oh, you did... What did you... I can't see it. It's blurry.
20.
You're too pixelated.
Okay, so
25.
you're also fishing?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Dwarf is rowing
just-
by himself.
I'm just relaxing and just looking at those.
you can make the mummy row.
No, I'm
Actually, yes,
I'm
make the
helping
mummy
row,
row.
but I've just got a rod over the side and
Okay.
I'm barely keeping an eye on it. And it's just like, as Caliban goes to fish whatever he does, I'm just like, oh, yoink.
Well, so first, Caliban, roll a strength athletic check as your rod pulls taut. Let's see if you are able to...
Okay, so this is part of the same roll, like, right? So I rolled to catch it, and then I rolled to... Okay, yeah. Oh, but, 13?
13?
Yeah.
That's you struggle, like it's pulling really hard, but you're able to pull one of these trouts, big 70-pounder, back onto the boat.
Ho, ho, ho! Is there someone who does portraits in that town that we're heading to?
Well, you'll have to ask around. Rover, you didn't have your hand on the fishing rod, so roll a dexterity check to see if you catch it in time.
That's all right. That's going to be a 18.
All right, so you managed to snatch it just in time, and you like the fish is pulling hard. So roll a strength check to see athletics to see if you're able to hoist the fish up onto the boat.
That's all right. That'll be a 15.
Yep, no problem. It comes up, and you're able to pull it on, and it's another beauty. Actually, with that natural 20, I'm going to say that yours is bigger than Caliban's.
Giggity.
Can I make a second check for a second fish?
Sure.
Greedy.
Oh, that's a 6 on the survival check.
No, during the second hour, you get no pulls on your bait. That it, or
Only-
is Rover trying again? As well?
No, that's it. I'm just like, yep.
It's good.
That's what I need.
Excellent.
I like to think that mine is literally like this much longer and just this much wider all over. Like it's just...
Just
So you reach the ice shelf right in front of the docks. You know, you got about another 100 feet to cover by foot to pull the boats on and stuff. So this time, because we started to learn the dynamics of the game quite well, I think I'm going to do what I should have done every time you guys go on the ice, which is you're on slippery ice as you're pulling the boats. So you're going to have to roll a dexterity check for me.
Do we need to roll dex checks for the mummy, or are you going to do that?
I will do that.
Now, I've got advantage on dex against effects I can see while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
Okay,
So
I
does
don't
that
know
mean-
if I don't know if this is an effect, but I'll let it go. I'll let it go for now, and I'll do some research afterwards.
Okay.
It's generally more for
13.
magical things, but yeah.
Is it? Okay. I'll just roll. I'll just roll with that advantage. That's fine.
13.
Okay. Everybody else?
Dexterity check, yes?
Yes, please.
17. No, sorry, 16. 16.
Roll for the mummy.
14. It was rolling over to a natural 1 and then 15. 14.
17.
Okay, I don't think anyone rolled below a 10, right? The mummy didn't either. Let me just double check one thing. Sorry, I've got ice. 1 second.
Probably there's something strange about the way my brain works, but I'm really interested to have a combat encounter with the mummy so we can figure out if she gets damaged. Do we do cure wounds or?
Okay, cool. So no one failed. Okay, no one failed. So you guys are all fine, but you're kind of, like realizing that it's quite a dangerous thing to do, to walk on ice without any special tools. But you make it fine onto the shore with your 2 boats and your 2 fish. What would you like to do?
Do you know if are ice skates a thing in Faerun?
You've asked that before.
And the
I've
answer
said
is
no.
no.
It
Damn
would be we would be like poles and
You have snowshoes, but you don't have crampons.
crampons. That's the word I was looking for. This is the international symbol for crampons.
What?
Basically, things that go into your shoes that have spikes underneath, so you can walk on
okay.
ice.
Yeah.
I was like, what are y'all talking about?
I guess find the guy who originally hired us, yeah?
I mean, yeah, should be on the dock.
Yeah,
how it was
can I
quickly,
check
though.
for him? Can I
Right.
look for him on the dock?
He's not there at the moment. It's quiet.
Is there anybody on the dock?
No, the boats that were going out to go out fishing have gone out, and so the dock is like otherwise empty. Like there's not as many boats out on the lake as there normally is, but the ones that are docked up, like there's no one tending them or anything. Like everybody's indoors because it's cold.
Right. What are the buildings I see around here? Like, is there anything that looks like a dockyard or like a boatmaster or?
Not really. I mean, you see a bunch of houses, and I guess right by the dock, there's about 3 buildings where there might be some boats and things, and where the fishermen might handle their catch once they come back. But it looks pretty deserted as far as you can see at the moment. The rest of the town, obviously, you can go walking around. You've been through town, but you haven't really stopped to check anything else other than the docks.
Dock and the people, yeah, and the one guy's house that was near the edge of town anyway. Sorry, guys.
Bless you.
So what would you like to do? You have 2 big fish, but you can't see somewhere to give it to just yet. Rover, you would know that when you come here, there's 5 taverns in the town center, and there's 1 inn that you've been to before.
I'm assuming that Durbik would know how to clean the fish if we want to cook them and eat them.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. But
And so-
you guys, before Durbik joined the party, they were asked to fish and bring back fish. So there is someone waiting to pay them.
Didn't know. Good.
Yeah, we can eat my fish and give them Caliban's fish for beer money.
I look at him and I say, "Fuck you, buddy."
We'll get more beer money if we give them my fish, because my fish bigger.
I thought we could give them both fish and get even more beer money.
Yeah, okay.
I'm surprised you didn't arrive at that conclusion as well. I thought you were just being an asshole when you only wanted to give one fish.
Look, but also freshly caught fish is nice.
I'm sure they'll give us a bite.
Anyway, the guy. Sorry, my notes between sessions have been lost. There was a bloke that we talked to who had seen the fish monster.
Yes. So now I've got notes here, but I can't remember if Frederick was the guy or Willem.
Yes, Frederick.
Frederick was the guy here, and Willem was the cousin.
Yeah, Willem was the guy back. Yeah, I think so. So we go to Frederick's house and kind of tell him like, let's just be like, hey, it was sorted, and
Oh, hello. I haven't seen you in a few days. How goes it? Did you meet the monster?
yes, we did. He's very friendly chap.
I'm sorry, what?
Very friendly chap.
Like he looks very confused.
Sorry. I did. You know, I am druid. I did the druid thing. I talked to him.
Okay.
Caliban pinches the bridge of his nose and just like sighs deeply.
So
It's okay.
It's not a danger anymore.
No, he didn't even want to be hurting people.
Oh.
He was blackmailed by a weird, crazy druid lady that I don't know why we haven't killed yet. But
Long
anyway,
story.
that's another thing for another time. Anyway,
Right. Like he's like,
basically, you don't have to worry. It's safe on the lake.
that's good to know.
Well, you know, comparatively.
Well, thank you so much for handling that.
No worries.
What can I do you for? Why are you here?
We just thought we'd let you know. We came
giant
back.
fish that we're holding.
Very well.
Just
you-
passing by in the neighborhood, and
We wanted to let you know because
Yeah.
you know you haven't been able to earn a living. You know, you want back on the water, back.
Yeah,
at
for
sea,
sure.
back-
Great.
We're also there was a lady who was again. I'm going back to Scottish. Who was very keen to hear about the beast. And there was also someone who was willing to pay us for fish. We have fish.
Would that be, I mean, lady that wanted to know about the beast? I mean, the one that asked me was, her name was Tally. Is that the person you're thinking of?
Yes, Tally.
Oh, you'll find her at the Buried Treasures Inn. That's where she's staying.
Okay. Wonderful. And,
But I wouldn't know
arrived,
who asked you to get the fish. You have to describe them to me.
I kind of point at the boats and go like, "These are his boats."
Oh,
I kind of like very quickly open the door and let so he can have a look, and then close it so the cold doesn't get out. 'Cause
he's a bit of a nasty fellow. A Grinsk burial boar. You'll probably find him drinking right about now. Sends other people to do his dirty work. He might also be at the Buried Treasures Inn, but if he's not there, one of the other taverns.
I mean, if the inn will pay for them, we'll happily pay them if he's seedy, so to speak.
He's just not the nicest sort of fellow. I mean, he sent you guys out on the lake when the monster was there. I wouldn't do
Yeah,
that. I would have, you know.
But it's what we do. We solve problems.
Oh, very
Perhaps he'd learn his lesson if we dropped the fish in his lap.
well. Hi, that would be funny to see. Please let me know if you do that.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
Oh, we're definitely doing that.
All right. You're welcome to come along and observe and witness if you like. And I just hoist my fish over my back. So are we doing this? Was there anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay, so you guys head to the Buried Treasures Inn. Let me get the sound for that.
If the taverns are on the way, then I'm getting a pint. Like I'm literally going and getting a takeaway pint to drink as we walk.
The Buried Treasures will sell you alcohol as well.
Oh no, I know, but just if we're walking past the taverns, I'll just be like, "Please fill my mug."
All right. So you do that, and then you head off to the Buried Treasures Inn.
Yeah.
It's a nice big building. Why is it not playing? The music. Having all sorts of tech issues today. Oh, I think it's playing now.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head off to the Buried Treasures Inn. As soon as you open the door, you see there's a few people at tables. Not very many, but you can see Tali in the corner. And you see like, let me describe it to you. You see a middle-aged innkeeper, female, human, sort of fussing about the the counter, and as soon as she sees you, she's like, "Oh, come in, please. Oh, guests, what can I do you for? Would you like some drinks?"
Do I see the dwarf?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Cora Mulfun. Please sit down. I'll get you some food and drinks.
I nod and I hand my fish to Rover and say, I'll go and deal with the elf business while you guys get checked in. We can do it together. I'm just trying to save you guys some time. Up to you.
I would like to talk to her about Beast.
Sure.
This big,
Tell you what,
beautiful Beastie boy.
let's get settled in first then. And I will take a seat.
So, Cora brings out some very generously filled mugs of beer for everybody, and some kind of snacks without even sort of being prompted. She's fussing about you. She's making you, sort of treating you like sort of your long-awaited guests or sort of celebrities almost. You know, she's really taking care of you, fussing about you.
How much for the tankards? How much for the tankards?
Oh, I lost my little thing.
I think it's like 2 silver or something.
Let's say 2 silver, and I'll find my list of prices in a second.
2 silver, there's 4 of us. Yeah, I got it. I toss her a gold piece.
5, I guess, Took says there too.
Oh, and she like,
Oh yeah, yes.
you know, thank you so
gold.
much. Like she's,
Grandma doesn't need to. She doesn't need anything.
She's good.
Very specific diet, gluten-free only. So we'll get her food somewhere else. Don't worry.
oh, very well, very well. And she looks really happy, and like she really sort of starts. She brings you out some extra food, makes sure that, you know, keeps asking if everything's fine, and fusses over you.
Slow business day, I take it.
Sort of like nervously kind of looks like, no, it's all good. It's just, you know, it's been a bit cold and dark, and
Insight,
it's
please.
Yeah, same.
I'm not. Back off.
all right. Roll an
I'm
insight
getting
check.
instant refill for my beer. I'm not.
Yeah,
complaining.
Derbick is drinking his first beer in a very long time.
14.
4.
4. You just think that clearly she must like your personality, Akeem. Like this lady like really likes you. Caliban,
Understandably, right?
you can
course.
tell that this Cora is extremely eager for guests. You don't know exactly what's going on, but she seems relieved and happy that people have walked in.
Just because I can, divine sense.
No, she's not undead or a fiend.
Anyone is anyone in the
Correct.
room an undead or a fiend?
No.
Okay.
Except for the mummy.
Listen, I can do this like 10 times a day. There's no reason not to just, you know, spam uses of it.
You're like Oprah with the divine sense. You get a divine sense. You get a divine sense.
Just wait until
At some point, we're gonna find like, you know, the like sweet old lady who offers us biscuits and find out she's a Goristro, and you'll thank me.
She's actually a deadite, right?
Yeah.
It's actually that's the point where you will forget, and that will design it will be funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think she likes me. Oh, that's nice.
So, so you know, she goes back to kind of doing cleaning up and stuff. But Tali notices you and kind of waving,
There's more of us. Come here.
and she
We
comes.
have food and drink.
Why, I'm glad to see you all alive. I do believe I thought the monster had gotten you. It's great to see that that's not the case. Did you meet him then?
Oh yeah, he's a lovely chap.
Oh, did you take notes? Did you take some notes about him?
No, I did not take notes, but I had we had good long talk.
And so, Caliban, you're giving some notes that you took.
Yes.
Okay. What notes did you take, if you remember?
So I would have been as descriptive in his physical appearance as I could, because I don't know what he is necessarily. So I describe the long neck. I would have basically described him as like a lizard with a very long neck and quadrupedal with the fins of like that almost reminded me of a seal, although it was all reptilian.
Okay.
I would have taken notes about how it swam through the water, sort of its movements, and compared it to stuff I've seen before.
I know she's not here, but I know that Zaxa would see you doing all the look through your very fastidious notes, and then she would minor illusion a small version of it, just so that she could have a look.
Yeah, I was
And just be like that.
And I would use thaumaturgy to mimic some of the sounds it made.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's like starts pouring through your notes and just keeps repeating, fascinating, interesting.
Pardon my calligraphy.
Actually, she just says that in Elvish, so only the people who understand Elvish would understand that. Okay, so 2 people.
This guy.
And like almost distractedly looking through her bag, grabs a scroll and hands it over. Like she doesn't even see who she's handing it over to. So whoever grabs it has it. And it's a scroll of animal friendship. And then still pouring through her notes, pulls out a little pouch and once again kind of drops it on the table. But she seems like almost like she's lost in a world, stands up and kind of drifts off into a corner to read it and keep reading, like sort of checking over the notes and stuff.
I flick through the pouch. Anything good?
There's 5 gold pieces.
I slide one to the druid, one to Hakim, one to Zaxa. And I turn to the others. Like, I want to hand one to the dwarf, but I feel like...
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Okay, fair enough. I turn to the others, saying the other gold coin is says, I don't mind holding on to this, but I'm not claiming it as my own. Alternatively, if someone else wants to hold on to it...
No. That's repayment for the round of drinks you bought.
Fair play.
In that case, that was our round of drinks.
I look at Caliban and just give him a nod and kind of go, thanks.
Whilst you guys doing this, the door opens and you see Grinsk Barrelbore and says, "What have you done to my boats? It's been days."
I pick up the 2 fish and I limp towards him.
Okay. And she goes, "Oh."
I say, "Here you go. Now where's my money?"
He like looks at you and says, "That took 3 days."
I almost got eaten. I had to cut my way out from the inside of the creature's belly. Now pay me before I ram these up your shitter with a lubricated horsecock.
Jesus.
It's got an image there.
He just looks at you and just kind of fumbles about and hands over.
He's an asshole, right? I don't mind embellishing the story.
He gives you the 10 copper pieces, 5 for each fish, and looks at you like, and goes, "Can't get good help these days." And wanders off and leaves, pulling the 2 fish away.
I wave to him as he goes.
He looks up and
With
kind
a
of,
smile on my face.
you know that kind of involuntary smile you give when someone
Yeah.
smiles at you, but like despite yourself?
I toy with the idea of commanding him to shit his pants, but I do not do that.
All right.
Just out of curiosity, what one word would it be?
Defecate.
There we go.
There it is.
Just checking.
All right. Then you're alone with Cora.
Yeah. We don't have to roleplay this, but also Rover would go over and talk about how he's awakened. Like you can actually go out and speak to him. He's actually quite friendly as long as you don't, I explained that he was kind of being blackmailed and kind of the whole deal without going into the whole thing of, Lonelywood. But basically now he's friendly. So if you do see him,
say hi.
you can have a chat.
Okay.
He will understand you. You don't need to be druidic to.
She's very interested and pleased with this, and kind of thanks you for the extra information.
Just keep him safe, and tell him the Rover sent you.
Oh, very well. I shall do that.
I turn to them, and I say, "Barkeep seems a bit clingy."
Oh, don't mind Cora. I don't think business has been particularly good. I think I'm her only stay-in customer at the moment, to be honest. And I do believe that her son has left and not returned. I think she's very concerned about him.
Which way did he head?
You can ask her for details, but she's not sure where he's gone to. But he left with some people. I would ask her for details if you're interested. But.
Fair enough.
So I go over to the bar
Mm-hmm.
after hearing this and feeling like she likes me already. I decide to strike up a conversation and go, hi, so I noticed you were quite friendly with us earlier on. I didn't catch your name.
Cora.
Nice to meet you.
Cora Mulfun.
That's a lovely name. Cora.
Oh, why, thank you.
A friend of ours just mentioned that your son hasn't been back for a while. Is that correct?
And she looks down, kind of steadies herself for a moment. My only son and my only child, in fact, and the only help I had around here. And his name is I can't even pronounce this. Huarwar.
Huarwar.
Yeah.
Huarwar.
Huarwar. Huarwar.
Huarwar.
Sounds like quite a mighty name, Huarwar.
His father named him after a warrior, I think it was.
Interesting.
We do miss him.
And when did he leave, if you don't mind me asking?
Let me. I think it's been about a week or two now that he's gone. It all, and she kind of starts to explain. It all started to happen. He was such a dutiful son, such a kind soul, and our town speaker is a very old dwarf. His name is Dolbergruf, and I don't know if he's going to be with us much longer. He's kind of lost his marbles, you see, and he went missing again. And so there was a search party for him. And though they eventually found Dolbergruf, my son did not come back with the party that went out for him. He got missing in a blizzard, and he didn't come back until the next morning. We were so worried about him, but he came back. He had frostbite and he could barely walk. But over the next few days, he started to be really mean and unkind. He would say very hurtful things to me and not do any of the chores that helped me out around here. He was always so helpful before. And he came back with this little shard of black ice. It looked like ice, but it was black. And he hoarded it like it was treasure. And when I tried to sort of have a look at it I went in his room to see what it was, he threatened me and said he would harm me physically if I ever touched it again. And then not a day after that, two tieflings, folk that look like you, sir, came and just took him, and they said they offered him sanctuary in their castle, and he just up and left with them.
Mm-hmm. And when was this that he left? Sorry, you said a couple of weeks ago. Interesting.
The tieflings wore. The only thing I can tell you about them is they wore amulets that looked similar to that shard of ice.
Mm-hmm. Do I recognize any of these visual things that she's describing, like the black ice and the? Do I recognize that?
No, you wouldn't have come across it.
Okay. What about the amulet? I guess it's similar, right?
Well, you don't know yet, but you'd have to see it for yourself.
Yeah. Would I not necessarily recognize the symbol, but if they're talking about a castle, would I know of any old abandoned forts or castles that aren't the towns?
You would know that the only two castles in 10 towns are an intact one in Caer Dineval and a ruined one in Caer Konig. Those are the only two castles that you know of. They're on the other lake, the two towns there.
Yeah.
One of them is a fully functional castle, and the other one used to be, and now is just a ruin.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so worried about him. And she describes him to you like if you do see him, please let him know that I miss him, and he can come home. I'm not mad. I just want to know he's okay.
I go out and put my hand on her shoulder and look at her in a very kind of soft voice, say, "Thank you for sharing your story with us. We will keep an eye out for your son on our journey. I can't promise anything, but we'll keep an eye out for him."
And she looks up into your eyes and kind of stops for a moment, and kind of looks and sort of nods and smiles and says, "Thank you," and kind of sort of gently bows and thanks you. And then you can see she's a bit emotional, so she says, I have to do some cleaning upstairs, and she kind of trottles off upstairs.
Does this pattern that Akeem describes of people lost in blizzards, mysterious black ice-like trophies or treasures ring any bells from a local lore standpoint?
I'm gonna make you roll a history check. Let me just double check if it's something you would know.
Is that for both of us or just for Derby?
It's only for the locals. It is, without giving too much away. Roll a history check.
13.
With that roll, you just know that shards like that have been found before, and they're said to be dangerous. You've heard vague stories of maybe once or twice in your lifetime you heard someone speak about it, and unusual things started to happen to those that found them. But you never talked to someone that found one or anything like that. It's hearsay.
Okay. And the castle that's active would be occupied by the local speaker and his militia and stuff like that, right?
Yes. So, Cair de Naval, you would know that the speaker, Crannoch Seaver, makes it his kind of keep. Like, that's where he runs the business. Roll a history check for me.
6.
6? All right. You don't come into town too often. You're more of a wilderness person, so that's all you can remember.
Yep.
There's no other castles that might be abandoned forts from they're like castles that aren't next to any of the 10 towns.
Not that you know of.
No, easy. Alrighty.
By the way, we had one comment on the stream that says, "Yay, Akeem!" I don't know who's watching.
Maybe Mary?
So is this some saving Huawar our next goal?
I need to pull up the map of 10 towns.
I
mean, I
really
think-
need
I
to
think
get
it's
to
a
Easthaven.
goal.
I'm running out of time.
All right.
You've mentioned this before. What is the deadline?
If I'm counting right, I have 4 days left on this leave of absence that I've been granted to do this investigation, to look into the series of murders.
Alright.
Now,
And
the
then you have
first
to
one,
Just bear in mind that you're right next to Targos, where the person that gave you that leave is.
I'm just
what, like I should get an extension?
maybe.
I'm just reminding
Hello.
you in case you forgot, like you're right next to your boss.
Yeah, Bremen is right next to Targos.
Yeah.
Caliban, do what you need to do. We'll come with you. I'll come with you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. What time is it?
Like in the day.
Evening.
Yeah.
Well, it was morning when you set out. It was 2-3 hours to go across the lake. It's gonna be around midday, 1 p.m.
Can we make it to Easthaven before nightfall? Relatively speaking.
Well, from Bremen, probably not. So Bremen is 2 hours to Targos, and then from Targos, it's going to take you another 2 hours to Bryn Shander. That's 4, and from Bryn Shander to Easthaven is 7.5 hours. So you have 13.5 hours to trek to Easthaven.
Fuck. How much money do we have? Can we afford horses yet?
How much money do you have?
I have 16 gold pieces.
How the? It's because I haven't added the gold piece that you gave me.
I don't know. I don't know what your situation is, Caliban, but is there someone at Targos we could speak to that's only a few hours away?
My superior, potentially, he may be able to help us gain passage.
I feel like you're not adding your gold, Caliban, sorry, because I have 60.
You had the gems.
I have 2.
There was a gem that could
feel
have
like
been
you
traded
haven't-
in for 50.
I don't think I traded mine in.
So you still have the gem.
Oh, that's why.
Akeem
yeah,
was
yes.
there we go,
drunk
that's
at the
why.
bar, so he doesn't have a gem.
No, I don't. No, I do not.
I never traded in my gem. I've still got a gem.
Oh, Akeem.
Well, shall we see if we can get some horses then? See if we can't book it.
You would know that horses are very hard to come by. You can either hire dog sleds and dogs, or what's called an axe beak, which looks like this.
I want an axe beak. I want an axe beak.
As soon
Can you
as
see
you
it?
said the words axe and beak
It's sort of like a
together,
tauntaun with a beak.
It was over.
So it's a moa.
Did you say tauntaun?
But the beak looks like an axe.
I want one.
More props.
You
The-
said tauntaun, and it's a blizzard.
I'll show Bill as well. So that's if you don't get a dog sled, you can get one of these.
So what do we think that Sonar is capable of riding?
She can see side saddle on the back of the axe beak like a lady.
But an axe beak will cost you 50 gold pieces, and a dog sled is 20 gold pieces for the dog sled, and 50 gold pieces per dog, and you need about 4 minimum to kind of pull it.
How many people can the sled pull?
Each
Too
dog
much for my
can
blood.
each dog can pull 360 pounds. The sled is 300, so you have to do the maths. Like it's probably a couple of people per sled, maybe 3, depending on how
I
much
feel
you
like
weigh.
the axe beaks work out to be cheaper.
It's a bit rich for your blood at the moment, considering how much gold you have. But I don't think you have enough money to hire one for each person.
All right, so I've got a gem worth 50. Rover's got a gem worth 50. Dubrick, how much gold do you have for yourself?
I cashed mine in. I have cash.
Sure.
Did that gem come from Ravison or pre-Ravison?
Pre-Revison. So it was the
Yeah,
first
10
quest.
gold pieces.
Yeah.
10 gold pieces.
Fine. Targos it is. I was hoping to avoid this, but
Okay.
very
At
well.
least
You
we
have-
have less to go.
But Calvin, you have 4 days. If you want to go to Easthaven by foot, you can.
I suppose I just would rather avoid wasting time. If I can help it.
So we go past Targos. We check in. You can ask for extension. If not, we still work and come back.
I think that's agreeable. Thank you all. I appreciate you. I wouldn't ask this if I didn't think it was important.
Okay. So you get your things and you head off to Targos? Very well. So you bundle yourself up again, strap on your no shoes, and start the walk, the 2-hour walk to Targos. As you come to the gates, they're still open, it's still the day, and you sort of start to walk through, trying to make your way to where you know your boss will be staying at Caliban, which is the Luskan Arms Inn. If you guys want to have a look at the map, if you have it, you can see where it is.
Yeah.
But as you trudge through the snow, crunching underneath your feet, you hear the bark of a dog over the whistles of the wind, and a wolf-sized sled dog with light gray furs run towards you, dragging a broken leather harness behind it. What's your marching order?
I would have brought up the rear.
I would have assumed that I'd be at the front doing the tracking and things.
Yeah.
Okay. So it basically tackles you, Rover, and starts whimpering and licking your face and just trying to tug at your sort of leather trousers, trying to pull you in a particular direction. It's like...
I can't speak with animals. Let's spare ourselves the...
Do I recognize the make of the saddle? Or its leathers? Does it look uniformal? Like, does it look like it belonged to
No, it
guards
doesn't.
or anything?
It doesn't.
Okay.
All right.
I can't speak there. I'm like, it's okay, buddy. I can understand you. Just, it's okay. And I give him like a good little pat and a little scooch around the neck. It's like, we'll help. We'll help. We'll help.
Come.
What's happened?
Help. Come. Garrett. Danger. Come. Talk to Keegan. Help.
What danger? Big scary beast. Bad weather, fall,
Big
hurt.
beast, mountain, attack. He's alone. I broke free. Hasn't returned.
What's the dog saying?
I pass it on like, there's a big beastie. He got away. People in danger all alone.
I turn to the others and I say, double time?
Come. Help.
Running.
And again, and I lead. Like I start there, like, lead on.
He takes...
We're here to help.
Okay. So he leads you through the streets of Targos and to a particular house and starts scratching on the door.
I tried the door.
The door is closed, but you hear noise inside.
Locked?
Yeah, it just seems like it's a locked door. But
All right, stand back.
And as you're about to do that, like someone opens the door and you nearly bowl into him. Like, steady on da. Hello. How can I help you? Oh, what's happened here? Sorry, let's make sure that I get the dog's name right. Oh, Boy, what's Boy doing here? Where's Garrett?
And then I, like, because it's still running, because it lasts a long time, 10 minutes. I'd be like, Garrett is another dog? Like, to the dog.
No, master, boss, friend.
I turn to the dog. Ask him who this is. I turn to Rover and I say, ask him who this is.
Who's this?
So, okay, I'm going to simplify things. The person looking at you goes, come in, please, and like grabs the dog and kind of like leads them inside and sort of ushers you in.
Do I know this person? Have I seen this person at all? See anyone I would know, like famous?
You haven't been in town long, but roll a history check.
Sorry. I'm asking the dog who the person is of the house that we're in now.
Okay, he tells you that it's his
6.
master. 6?
Oh.
Okay, you don't know them.
I
You haven't
thought
met them.
Garrett. I thought Garrett was master.
Both.
Okay.
And
It seems you have a friend called Garrett,
Garrett is my husband.
and he's in trouble.
So this, what you see now is a handsome man in his 30s, with sort of black hair. And when he first opened the door, he was smiling. But when he saw the dog and you guys, like without Garrett, you can see that he looks worried. And he says, "Oh, please do come in. I am Keegan Velrin. I was born in 10 towns, but my husband came from a wealthy family in Neverwinter. Garrett never cared for city life when I met him. He was working as a guide. He loves the outdoors and lives to climb mountains. A few days ago, Garrett was hired by some adventurers to lead them up the slopes of Calvin's Cairn. Garrett's plan was to take the adventurers to Cair Koenig, the town at the foot of Calvin's Cairn. After they acquired some climbing gear from the outfitters there, he was to lead them up the mountain. He took 6 dogs and a sled with him. Boy here is Garrett's favorite. Raised him from a pup. Boy would never leave Garrett's side unless something terrible must have happened. Where did you find Boy? Where was he?
In the
right
streets.
here.
Oh, clever boy. And he's like stroking his head and giving him like little treats.
I'm feeding him a good berry as well, because he must be exhausted.
Very well. And the dog looks at you like, and kind of licks you again. He's quite happy that...
Yeah.
So now we have 2 reasons to head up that direction.
Or 3
Oh.
now, yeah.
It's a lot to ask, but could I persuade you to go up there and find Garrett and his companions? I don't have money, but the proprietor of the Laskin Arms is a good friend of mine. I could get you some free rooms at the inn. And I'm
That
also...
would be quite welcome. We could work faster if we had some faster means of transportation. Do you know anyone who could swing a favor like that?
I would suggest you visit the Frozen Far expeditions in Caer Konig. It's the last place anyone would have seen Garrett, and you could probably hire some equipment or mounts there.
Good to know.
I can also offer you... I'm an artist, you see, and he points over to a shelf that's full of little figurines carved out of the bones of the knucklehead trout, the scrimshaw. They're beautifully carved. Then it's not worth much, I confess, but I can give you some of those as well if you're able to bring him back safely.
Could you make one of me holding a giant knucklehead trout and smiling like this?
And you can see, like, oh, sure, it will take me a few days, but I could do
Sure.
that.
All in good time, all in good time.
Can we not get horses or some means of transport here in Targos?
Well, that's what we were talking about originally, right? Horses are hard to come by, but we can get an axe beak for 50 gold each. I can buy myself one, but I'd like leave you guys in the dirt.
So over here, there is a general store.
I mean, I can be one for 2 hours a day.
Can you carry us all?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I can be a direwolf. Like they can carry.
Can
me,
the
but
axe beak double saddle? Is that a question I'm allowed
So-
to ask, or would I have to go to...
Durbik, you would know that the Frozen Far expeditions... Let me just bring it up.
But that's at the end of where we want to go, not where we are now.
Yeah. So the Frozen Far expeditions would have sled dogs that you could hire instead of buy.
Would Keegan be able to help us with getting some transport? Loan us some funds to get some transport?
He's like, as he said, he doesn't even have the wealth to offer you as a compensation for retrieving his husband, so not so much, not enough to get you there. And you would know that from Targos straight to Caer Konig through the tundra would take you 14 and a half hours on foot. 14 and a half hours is going safely through the towns. Or you can head. You could head straight for the mountain, which would be quicker, but you might encounter things on the way. You'd be passing through the Dwarven Valley, by the way, Durbik. You would know that it goes through where you used to be from.
I mean, I'm always up for some wandering. Rover by name, rover by trade.
I've been looking for some trouble.
Can we make a quick pit stop to the tavern first? I need to try and see if I can get more time.
Yes, of course.
All right. We should move quickly afterwards, though, and I will just duck out and rush to the tavern.
Okay. You guys just leave?
I do.
Cool. Do you say?
Yeah,
Yeah, we go to the. I go with you to
there's
the tavern
no-
because I won't be here if we're not gonna see town.
Okay. So you reach the tavern. Let me.
Just a reminder as well, guys. Caer Konig was where the other unkept castle was as well.
Yeah.
So, 3 birds that way.
So who's going into the tavern with Caliban? Anyone else?
I would let Caliban go in first,
Yeah.
but like I kind of
You go in.
because he's obviously trying.
Yeah.
But I'll just go in and get a pint and then go back and wait outside.
So you see that this building is kind of different from the others you've seen, those that haven't been here before. It looks like the style of it is a little outdated, and it's a bit different. The decor looks about 200 years old. It has sturdy walls, but the floorboards look a bit kind of like they should be replaced. At the bar is a quiet, balding man who looks kind of down in the dumps, and he's wiping the bench. Doesn't look happy at all. In the corner, Caliban, you notice Skath, your commander, talking to the town speaker, whom you haven't really interacted much before, but you know who he is. And they're kind of like having a quiet sort of conversation between each other close by. And they sort of both smile, and then the town speaker heads upstairs.
Have I ever been this close to the town speaker?
Yeah,
Okay.
on official matters, but you were doing your duty, so you didn't exactly go, hello.
Okay.
And Skath turns around and says, Caliban, my boy, you're back early. How you doing? Solved all those murders yet?
I have some bad news, I'm afraid. There's been another in Bryn Shander.
Is that right?
Same MO.
Interesting. You sure it's the same, connected to the same thing?
I'm sure. I'm also sure that there may be larger work at play here. I recently thwarted a druid who went mad with vengeance, who was awakening animals and sicking them on the townsfolk of all the 10 towns.
Well, well, well. Isn't that nice? Taking names, kicking ass.
I know there's something else to this. I just need more time.
Sure. How much more do you need?
A week.
10 day. They don't have weeks here.
Oh. A 10-day from today.
Well, why not? If you think this would be helpful. Sure.
Would this be an insight check about, like, that seemed too easy?
If you
Or
want.
would...
Are you...
Yeah, like that felt too easy. Like,
Almost feels like things have been running smoothly since you've been.
hey, fuck you, buddy. Natural 19 for a total of 22.
So, for the first time, you're taking a little bit aback because it feels like something's off, almost as if it can't be right. This can't be what you're thinking, but surely not. It almost seemed like he was sort of glad to let you go for a bit.
Has the speaker left already?
Yeah, he's gone upstairs to his room.
Alright.
Well, do come back and tell me if you do find anything interesting. Steady on and keep doing your duty.
Very well. I put on a smile. I'll be sure to do that. And as I wave, I will just divine sense.
You don't. He's not a fiend or undead.
Okay.
Or
I
Celestial.
feel like we should have a tracker of how many times divine sense is used by
Ding
Caliban.
ding, like on
Like a drinking game.
Yeah. Like
every
take a
time
shot.
Caliban-
Listen, if you were to judge sonar on how many times it doesn't detect anything,
But who
That's
is
okay.
this guy, Caliban? He seems pretty creepy to me.
please tell me you didn't say that out loud.
No, I'm not going to say that out loud in the tavern with the dude there.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we were outside the tavern. Like I ducked and got a pint and then went back out in the cold.
As long as it's in there.
Skath
Let me just
leaves you
check.
and goes to the bar and gets himself a glass of wine, and you hear the owner going, "Would that be all, sir?" And he's like, "Yes, of course, Owen. I'll see you later." And he goes upstairs.
And Owen didn't give me any vibes,
No.
like peering around there, nothing. I go upside out to Rover and say, Rover, I have no right to ask this of you, but is there any chance you could do the ant thing again?
I mean, I thought there was time pressure. An overwhelming time pressure.
I know, and you have every right to say no, but something's not right.
"10 minutes." And I've just got this pint, so I neck it.
The ant, I just picturing the ant doing like zigzags. Sorry.
And I'll go into a spider or something. Yeah, it's an equally small bug.
Well, you're
with a climb
outside,
speed.
and you.
I'm outside, but I'll get him to open the door and let me in,
Okay.
or crawl into the side.
Where do you
I'll
go?
do something. I'll do some sort of lie, like I missed him, and then I close the door again.
But before I do, I go, who am I following?
Scath, the tiefling like me.
Is that all? Is that okay?
I describe
description
Scath as
alone.
best as I can.
Nope, Scath, whoever that is, because I don't know who the town guard is.
Well,
I turn into a spider and I go on in.
Okay. So you head upstairs to where they went?
No. Are there any other tieflings in the bar that look like are the same type of tiefling?
This guy was in full plate armor, so you would kind of. He looks distinctive.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, in the time it would have taken for that to happen, you go upstairs as a spider, and you see kind of a hallway with multiple doors.
Yeah. The other thing is also if the floorboards are in bad shape, the rafters might be, so I might be able to just go straight up through this cracks in the floor and the ceiling.
Sure, but where do you go? He's not visible.
I start searching rooms, I guess.
Okay. It takes you probably about half an hour trying each room, but you eventually find that the largest guest suite, and there's a stove in the corner, and there's a couple of armchairs, and you see Scott sitting down listening to the man that was speaking to him earlier speak, and they're talking. And you see that they're talking as the town speaker, Nerth, is feeding what looks to be snakes with wings inside a small cage with a little mouse.
Would I know what those are?
Because when has anyone with a pet snake ever been anything other than trustworthy and honorable?
Yeah, Min?
Or a dragon. Like, do I recognize this?
You're not there because only rovers and spider form. So you'll have to wait.
I was going to say, would I recognize vaguely what these are?
Roll a nature check.
Thank God I keep my mental stats. Actually. Where are we? Nature check. That's going to be a 18.
Okay. So you might not have seen them before, but you know that there's such a thing as flying snakes. That's what they are.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm out. See you later.
These are naturally. These are.
I don't know if they are. To be honest, I'll have to Google that. Give me a second.
Flying snakes? Ain't no nothing natural about no flying snakes. Stay out your goddamn mind.
Snakes.
Your new girlfriend. I turn to him and I say, "Your new girlfriend is a mummy, and that's what's got you weirded out."
Oh no, I don't know about these yet, so we can't.
It does.
Yeah, they're beasts.
It does say tiny
They're
beast, so it's naturally occurring.
Yeah.
Wait, you can turn into one? Oh, wait, later you can.
Yeah, I can't fly it, but yeah, eventually. I do get that whole. It's a beast. Cool.
So you hear.
Okay, so it's not like it's like devil spawn.
You hear the bearded men go, What did that guard want again? Oh, so in this Catherpies, he wants to investigate the murders. He thinks they're linked. The ones that happened in Easthaven and here. Fine, we can spare. Has any progress been made to do with good mead? Work is in progress. We shall know more later. It was rather fortunate that that fool, Kendrick, got himself killed, it gives us an opportunity to increase our stranglehold to this region. You will see to it. I'll do what I can, sir. Very well. And sort of goes back to tending to his snakes.
Cool. In that case, I don't think there's much left because going off to separate rooms and things now. So I'll scurry back and tell again, find a crack in the door somewhere, or crack in the window and jump out and go back to myself.
Do you tell him?
Yeah, I tell him everything. I tell him about the snakes. And when people freak out at that, I'm like, they're just not that. No, flying snakes aren't there. Yeah, they're a thing. It's okay.
All right, this is absolutely serious, but I think you'll agree that my instincts were right, and so it was worth it.
Yes.
Okay. Do I know what gold mead?
Good mead.
Good mead.
Rover, alcohol seems to be your favored terrain. Do you know anything about that?
I'm more of a beer drinker than mead, but...
you would know, anyone that's been in this area would know that good mead has the best mead pretty much in the whole of this particular world. And that it's been recently... actually, just 1 second. I need to find it. There we go.
Something about
the other the taverns around the place haven't really been receiving as many deliveries. And you would know, once you repeat the name, if you do repeat the name from the conversation, that Kendrick was the town speaker of Good Mead. As far as you know, he was alive, but they seem to have said that he got himself killed.
I turn to the others and I say, if I had to hazard a guess, I think we seem to be dealing with the killer. And then I point to the inn behind us, and the vultures picking at the carcass. It sounds like whatever my esteemed superior is doing, it's more taking advantage of the destructive wake of this shit that's going on. Unless anyone has a different theory.
This is why I don't come to towns.
You come to towns for the beer.
I come to towns for beer, and they're messing with, good meat. I'm more beer person, but their meat is good.
Questions for another time. We've got a long-lost son to save.
And a missing husband.
Yes.
Okay. So where do you want to head to? You can follow the path along the towns to Caer Konig, which is where Garrett was last seen, as far as you know. Or you can go straight for the mountain, Calvin's Cairn, by crossing the open tundra and covering the distance on foot. It's 12 miles, which would take you about a day worth of travel to go.
How dangerous is the open tundra, Rover?
Some days you're lucky, some days you're not. Sometimes you hike all day, nothing happens. Other days, 12 yetis and you run like hell.
You know what? Let's get adventurous. I'm in the mood to pick a fight. I vote tundra. Any objections?
A large part of this is through the Dwarven Valley. All those whole people will keep it safe for us.
Wonderful.
That's all I needed.
Off to Kevin's Cairn.
Okay.
Kevin's Cairn.
So...
We need to find a big payday at some point and then get axe beaks for everybody, or a sled with like 50 dogs, so we can just cruise everywhere.
You guys get your snowshoes on, pack all your gear up, bundle up your mummy.
Go back out into the cold.
And start heading off.
Actually, the mummy can probably carry a lot of gear for us.
How strong is the mummy?
I gave you guys the stats. You can have.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I was allowed to look up the stats or not.
You did give us the stats somewhere.
It's just an ordinary mummy, right?
For the sake of being initiative order, again, we discussed this last week, but no one put their hand up really. Does someone want to just take it and it's theirs to kind of look after and feed and water?
It's Hakim's, and But Hakim, if that sounds like too much work for you,
You
I do
can
not
have
mind
it.
doing
I think
it.
it should be Akim's.
I think so
Yeah.
too. I'm just offering in case Min doesn't feel
I-
like doing the extra work.
I know nothing to do with it.
Just
Caliban,
tell it to beat things. That's
beat Caliban. No, I'm kidding.
So it's a day's worth of trudging through, like, the snow. Do you guys like getting provisions, or do you just go straight up?
What would we need provisions wise?
You all need.
Ice walkie metal things.
You might need
Would not
crampons.
be.
You don't know. Also, you probably need a pound of food each per day, as you're out.
Oh no, I can
rations.
deal with feet. I can deal with food.
Oh yeah, good berries.
Okay. Anything? So you want to stop?
It is spell slot the bear, but yeah, I can.
how
do
much
food.
crampons cost, Dre?
So crampons are 2 gold pieces for a pair.
Yeah.
You can get them at the store, which is the Trilio General Store in Targos.
Also, if we're going to go mountain climbing, some mountain climbing equipment, some pitons, and making sure we've stocked up on rope. I know most of us should have rope anyway, but just things like that.
I turn to Dubrick and I say, "Do you think your people have mountain goats we could ride up the mountain? Or is that only from that book I read? The halfling."
I don't think they would have goats big enough to take humans and Goliaths.
Damn.
All right. You guys want to go to the general store then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I'll trade the gem whilst I'm at the general store, if I can.
Caliban takes you to the Trilio General Store that he knows quite well. That'll be where he gets anything he needs, so you would know it. And as you open the door and walk in, you see a tall, scarecrow-like fellow that looks like he's holding his left hand sort of gingerly at the side, doesn't quite move it as much. And he sort of greets you and says, "Hello, how may I be of service? Justin Hunray."
Caliban is uncomfortable.
You would have met him before.
It doesn't make me less uncomfortable.
Divine sense.
You know what? Why not? I've got a divine sense to spare.
He's not undead or celestial or a fiend. God.
Okay.
Do come in. I hope the Trilio General Store has what you need.
So, what crampons do? Should we? I mean, get some iron rations. Use the good berries if there's a emergency.
Yeah.
Get some rope.
Okay.
What do we need to equip ourselves for, say, a week in the wild?
You asking me or asking each other?
We need some mountaineer, some pitons as well. If we're going to be doing some rock climbing and some, I don't know what the ascent is going to be like, but we need some pitons and stuff as well.
Cool.
I know that I don't have any.
Let me double check to see if D&D Beyond has mountaineering equipment, because then you can just...
I believe so, yes.
I'm pretty sure mountaineering equipment is just shorthand for rope and pitons and crampons.
Any
I think there is a mountaineer's kit.
mountaineer...
I'm pretty sure rescue helicopters included in the mountaineering kit.
So kits, there is... I don't see mountaineer's kit. I do see forgery, disguise, climber's kit. You can buy climber's kit.
Climber's kit, yeah.
So climber's kit is 25 gold pieces.
Oh,
Fuck.
Includes pitons, boot tips, gloves, and a harness. You can use the climber's kit as an action to anchor yourself. When you do, you can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself. And you can't climb more than 25 feet away from that point without undoing the anchor. So that's one set of climber's kit. And so that's 25 gold pieces, and the crampons were 2 gold pieces a piece. So you can add it to you can add crampons to your equipment if you buy them.
Yeah.
I'll buy crampons for myself. And yeah, I'll buy a mountaineer's kit.
Okay.
Oh, a climber's kit, sorry. Climber's kit.
Yeah, sure, why not? Someone's going to have it.
So, mark off 27 gold.
Justin goes, well, excellent, here you go, and like pulls it out and sort of starts bundling it up for you guys and sort of wrapping it in rope and stuff. And would that be all?
Yeah, but 100. Rations.
Well, we've got the berries, right?
Yeah, but we saved them for any pinch.
I've still got some of my cookies, so I just reach down and check. Still good.
Because it's now evening, isn't it? It's nighttime. Like we've been going around all day.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can get 1 day's worth of rations. It says, I think, 5 gold pieces for rations.
What?
Yeah.
That's what it says in the equipment.
A day?
That seems expensive, but yes.
That seems insane.
It's like but it's good rations and like proper hardtack that lasts.
But it's only a day's worth.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we can just go good berry.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But the good berries that I were cast at the end of yesterday are about to expire. So I just here you go.
Wait, food expires up here? I thought that was the advantage of being in the cold.
Good berries have 24 hours.
Yeah.
Ah, right, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, they'll be way too OP. So I cast it every night before I go to bed for a long rest, and I've got berries for the next 24 hours.
Let's hit the tundra.
Okay. So you head off, making your...
DM question: are we going to get exhaustion?
Depends if you stop for a sleep or not. If you travel without stopping, yes, but within 24 hours worth of travel, including a long rest, you will get to the mountain.
Yeah.
Okay?
Easy. Just double check.
So you begin to trudge off in the snow, and you, Akeem, and you, Caliban, this is the first time you've gone off the beaten path properly. And the snow is the deepest, kind of like you basically up to your waist trudging through the snow. And it's desolate. The wind is whistling and there's barely anything there. But after a good 3 or 4 hours of travel, you guys suddenly hear some noise and you see first 1, then 2, then 3. Let me just double check. Deer. And suddenly you feel like you're in the middle of a whole herd of traveling deer. It's probably about 20 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I vote we keep on moving and do not interact.
You don't want me to speak?
I was gonna say.
By all
I
means
think-
speak, but let's not try to piss anyone off.
I feel like there's a reason why there's so many of them here. So I look at Rover and go, "Can you do your thing?"
Yeah. First of all, is this normal for deer of the tundra?
Yeah.
Like crowd around people?
Well, no, they're just traveling. You know, they
Oh, okay. Just literally heard a deer.
yeah, you kind of came across them. I mean, they're kind of keeping their distance from you, but like you kind of popped out of nowhere as far as they're concerned. Whereas they popped out of nowhere for you. You kind of crossed roads suddenly.
Yeah. If we've got the time as a ritual, I'd like to cast Speak with Animals and be like, greetings, little friends.
Hello.
Which way have you come from? Have you come from near mountain or?
No, from kind of points towards
Gesturing.
the from up above where the frozen sea is.
Oh, good. That's a good hard journey. Any dangers that way? Any problems? Any predators?
Hunters, always following us. Hunters.
Yes, they do that. Unfortunately. Ah well, be on your way.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I look at Rover and go, "Well, did they say anything?"
They come from up north. They're fine. They're deer.
So, and as they
They're not
travel off,
They're not the chattiest of folk.
as they kind of sort of start to drift off, and they become smaller and smaller into the distance. You see from the direction they came from, far in the distance, but you can see that there's probably about 7 human-sized figures coming towards.
Just whatever.
Let's just keep on our way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got shit to do.
Circle of life.
Alrighty. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so as you're passing through the tundra, you eventually reach this large valley, and you see from either side of this canyon, there's little sort of almost, you know, those kind of buildings in America where the sort of close to Mexico, those Native Americans that live kind of in the rock walls. Pueblos.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't know, Min, there's sort of villages that are basically carved into the rock.
That's dope.
This is the same but frozen. You know, like it's basically they're living in the rocks.
Yeah. Think Western Air Temple from Avatar: The Last Airbender. The last one they go to, where it's all kind of, it's not up in the air; it's kind of in the side of the cliff. It's like that.
Dope.
There's a close facsimile.
And there's a few little lights flickering off in a couple of the openings, and there's tracks leading up into sort of various side valleys and so on. Obviously, Durbeck, you know very well what this is. You guys keep going?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you reach after you camp for the night because the darkness starts. Well, you know it's time to rest basically. Once again, when the sky lights up like green fire from that aurora, and you make camp for the night. But unless you guys want to say something to each other or do something, I'm gonna skip on to the next morning.
No, it's been a long day, night, and literally just plonk into the snow and just fall asleep.
I was gonna say, for me, I might have to end it there.
Okay, we can pause here.
Because I was
I mean, it's a good
before
point,
we
Will.
jump into anything- yeah.
No.
Is that so? You have to go, Min. That's fine. That's okay. We can stop here for today.
Easy.
Cool.
Very well.
All right.
It was fun.
That was fun.
Thank you all for playing with
Fun
me.
time, guys.
Sorry about
Thank
the
you.
tech issues.
Coordinate our drinks better next time. I still had the gold, and you
Oh,
had the
I need
purple.
to. I need to get back on that. Right. Trying to change it up.
Yeah.
Cool. So next time we'll start with the climb for the mountain. You guys will reach the mountain and try to find Garrett.
All right.
Very good.
Excellent. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you later,
Okay.
folks.